Hey guys, it's Melody. Today I'm going to teach you guys how to make texture packs, which is a very highly requested video that I have finally decided to do, so come along. So this first video is just going to be focusing around swords and tools and stuff like that. Just because whenever I start a pack, I always start with the swords to like get my color palette together and whatever, so we're going to start with that. So you're gonna want like a base texture pack, which is just like all the default textures. I just made my own over time, so I'll just leave a link to that. So since I'm gonna do 32x, I'm gonna go to the top and rescale this to a 32x like that. It's gonna look really weird, just trust the process. Make a new layer, grab whatever like random color, just to make like an outline of how you want your sword to look. I'm just gonna kind of like roughly trace over a shape. So do like handle and then the other handle. Doesn't really matter like too hard, it's just that part. You can turn off the first layer to like see where you're at. And I'm gonna do the blade in a different color, which will make it easier. I'll like explain that later. I'm just gonna take this like line tool and map out that this is my middle and use a different color again. And then this is how wide are swords normally? I can't remember. No, they're this wide. So this, and then shape I want. I'm gonna turn that off if you're done with that. Make mine a little bit shorter. There you go. And then I'm gonna move it up a couple pixels because I think swords are normally like here. It's like weird 3x2 or whatever. And then if I like make the select tool and then shift click this, it'll select everything that's the same color. So I can just delete that easier. Which is why I'm saying to just use different colors so you can like delete stuff easier. And then now that you have these, you're gonna want to figure out what colors you're using. I'm just gonna do like the default like diamond blue sword. So I'm gonna take this, just fill it with blue, and then outline's gonna be darker blue. I'm gonna use shift click for that. I'm just very roughly like getting my colors blocked in place just so I can like tell what I'm doing easier. Now we shade. So I'm gonna start with maybe the lighter color, it'll just be easier. So you're gonna wanna figure out where like your light hits your sword. I'm gonna make mine hit from up here. I'm gonna block it in like that, and then a little bit of a darker color. And then also for my color palettes, I just like doodle them up here and then build it on as I'm going. For texture packs also, I know that there's like two different styles. One will be either like a white line going down here, or it'll be the opposite and it'll be like a darker line going down the middle. I kind of like how the darker line looks better, so we'll do that. So just whatever color you're using, darken it a little, get a line going down the middle. You can do like more or less saturation, just depending on how you want it to look. I normally do pretty saturated colors just because I think they look better. I'm a personal preference though. So here's also how like I make my color palettes. It's literally just like a line of colors. And then over here, I'm going to darken this just because it gets darker as it goes down a little bit more. Something like that, very roughly. And then just fix up your shading. If you zoom out, it'll kind of make it easier for you to see how like all your shading looks and whatnot. I can even put like pure white here. Just, really make it pop. Like I can do that. And then I'm gonna add this to my color palette too. And then we're gonna do the outline of like the actual sword. My palette going again. And then for this, like, I don't know how to explain it. Like the lighter that the colors are on the inside, the lighter you want like that line to be near it. Maybe that's common sense, I don't know. So like that, so it like shows that it's reflecting more. And then I'll repeat that down here. Like that. The shading doesn't have to make like too much sense. If you think it looks good, then don't like stress about it and be like, Oh my god, but canonically, like, the light should hit right here instead of, like, down here. Like, don't worry about it, man. If it looks good, it looks good. And then I'm gonna put these colors together. This is this part. That's how my palettes normally look. And then let's do the handle. I'm just gonna change the shape up a little. Let's start with the shading. I always do the inside first. So that can add a little bit of red up here. And boom, 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 boom. And then make my color palette again. And then just select it, move it out of the way. And then I'm gonna do the lightest one. So since this is the darkest color I use, I'm just gonna use this to like, no, it has to be darker than that. Do that, I'm gonna shift click it just to do all of them at the same time. This color just to be my base, and then darken it on all the parts I did darker on the inside. This is what I mean about like the shading not making sense. It's like technically all the light should be like up here, but I'm doing it in the middle just because it looks better. So again, like, don't stress about it too hard. So roughly something like this, just mess with the shading however you want. And then my color palette again. Don't know if you can hear that plane, but shout out to whoever just landed. And then put that up there, and then recreate it down here. Just like, it's useful to have my color palette and just, you know, use my palette. No shit, oh my god. I'm gonna block these in kind of randomly. Since it's such a small like area, I'm just trying to show that there's a lot of colors there. And then I mean, you're done. You've made your sword. You're all good to go. So, you know, whoop-de-doo. So since this is like what my color palette's gonna be, it's just gonna be the default colors. I'll show you how to like do recolors, which will be like iron sword, you know, wooden, whatever, stone, or if you just wanted to do recolors. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make another canvas for my color palette. So I'm gonna take it, copy it, and then paste it here just to have. And then let's turn this into, say, the iron. Since white was my, you know, I just had pure white here, I'm just gonna use that. Whenever you're shading like gray or white, you normally use like purple, red, blue, or like anything like that. I'm gonna use blue, so I'm gonna tint it the teensiest bit with blue and then more with gray. And then I'm just gonna shift click it onto my palette. So shift click it again, and then it'll start changing the colors here, so you don't have to like manually hand shade it every time. I might go lighter actually. Oh, it's been a long time since I've made a texture pack. But yeah, I just went over it lighter a little bit so it's more like iron, obviously, I guess. And then do this inner part, which I have my palette here for. Oh, I see I use the same color here. Whoops. Doesn't matter, not a biggie. And then, again, I'm just shift clicking for all of this. And then my outline color, which is right here. The more you use darker colors, the more your outlines will just be like hard to differentiate the colors because they're just going so dark. But you know, happens, it happens. And done. Then you have recolored your sword successfully. Or when you are all set with your swords, you just do that for each variant for like, you know, stone, iron, wood, whatever. Don't forget to mention you should be saving these before you turn into diamond. Like, you know, delete your palette out of there and then go up here, save as, and then diamond sword. And make sure when you're saving these, you change into a PNG. It'll just flatten your image. Save it, say yes, okay. I'll say flatten, that's fine, just click yes. So now that you've successfully made your first diamond tools, or diamond sword, I guess, you can move on to the tools, which I do not have the PNGs for, so. Okay, I spawned it in. Okay, there we go. So when you have your image, again, I'm gonna turn it into a 32x. You can do that for any resolution, any resolution you want. 32x, 64. I've messed around. I've done like 20x, 45. Do whatever you want. It just has to be like, you know, the same number. Obviously, like 45, 45, 32, 32. So it's gonna be the same thing as your sword. You're gonna go up here and then get a random color. Get your outline for the handle. Again, I'm just using the line tool. I don't know how wide I make it. I think that's how wide. do that. Oops. Something I do when I'm making swords is making tools, sorry, is I take this, like, however I made this look at the bottom, and I'll put it onto here with the pickaxe, so it's like, oh, how cool it matches. And then you're gonna want to do the actual pickaxe. So I'm gonna take a random color. I also didn't mention that, like, you can do gradient shading technically. I just don't do that, like, ever, so I'm not showing how to do that, but you know, feel free to do whatever. And you can make your tools look however you want, however you think they look good at. Doesn't even have to be like close to real pickaxe shape. You can, you know, make it look however. Okay, well, I've made a very silly looking shape, so maybe I'm not the best example of how to make a nice looking pickaxe. Again, if you want it to look like the actual pickaxe, just like follow this outline. It is kind of hard to see because obviously, like, if you like messed up the resolution by, like, you know, scaling it like this, but you can roughly see what you're doing. Okay, here's more of a normal shape. What the hell? How did I mess up? Horrible teacher. Jesus. Okay. There you go. For a very simple shape, then, you know, change it up however you want. Again, it does not have to be this actual pickaxe shape. Handle's kind of long, so I'm gonna shrink that a little, just move this in closer. And boom. I'm also going to extend the handle to, like, come out through on this side. Just think it adds more character. And then from where I put my palette at earlier, I'm gonna copy that, paste it over here, and then just start shading. Again, I'm gonna block in my colors, so my lightest will go, oops, my lightest there, my darkest here, and then my lightest and my darkest. And then we will actually shade. I'm gonna go ahead and select the inside, which I probably should have done with a sword, just so, like, none of the coloring goes out of the edges. It can only go in the place I selected. It's gonna very roughly. This is gonna be where you want to, like, figure out how your shadows are gonna work. I know my shadows are kind of from, like, this area and then the bottom side. It's kind of hard to explain shading. Maybe there's a video I can put out for that. Not sure. I'm gonna actually start at my dark colors here just to block them in better. I'm just getting all of my darkness to show at, like, bottom, kind of. Oops, don't do that. Something like that. It can make more sense, you know, just know where your shadows are gonna go, blah blah blah. Really been a while since I've done shading. Yeah, okay, that works. I'm a lot happier with that. And then you're gonna want to do your outline. You can also just select that. If you click shift, it'll select just that color, so it's easier. Then I'm gonna start with my lightest color, just where I have it on here, and surrounding areas, you know. And the next one. So I forgot to mention, I'm, like, using both of the colors here that I can use, so I'm selecting both colors and just switching in between them. Just, you know, efficiency. Also, I would say on, like, where your darkest color is, you don't want to put too much color in there. That technically, like, here I should be using the lighter colors, because it's like, oh well, it's lighter there on the top, I did that, but it'll always look better if, like, you have some heavier shading on the bottom. It might make it a little bit darker, just because I think it'll look better. There you go. We'll keep it as that, and then let's do this bar part, which is just gonna be the same as this. So here's my darkest color. Do it, like, halfway up, and then put the next lighter color, and then here, halfway up here. You're just basically creating that, like, empty line in the middle. Do like this. Just get, like, a decent enough looking gradient. So like that. I'm gonna throw these colors in a little bit randomly. And then boom. Let's change that down there. And I'm gonna bring up the second lightest color a little bit. And then down here, so we'll darken that. Yeah, like that. Also, if need be and you think you want to add in more colors, because obviously you can fit a lot more colors in a pickaxe than in a sword, just add new colors and throw them into your palette. Like here, I want like a little bit lighter colors. Yeah, and then if here you want to add in more, you know, just add it in. It doesn't matter. It's your own pack. If it looks good, no one cares. It's because I think it needed that extra color. I think that makes it look like 20 times better. So do that, move the palette over, and then we'll shade the like outline part. So on the stick, I'm not gonna go as heavy to like emphasize the shading, just because I mean you don't have that much room to work with. So boom, 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 boom. Add some up here, and then there's your pickaxe done. You can also do like this as a darker line, like I said about the swords. You know, do it like that, whatever. Done. Then I'm gonna change my color palette. I'll keep that and just fit it in. Replace the old one. And then delete your old layer, go here. I do Control-Shift-S to save it. You can just go up here, File, Save as Diamond Pickaxe, and then save. Also, something that'll help you with like looking at how your textures look at is just looking at them in game. I'm just in my like showcase world. If you go to resource packs and then put the pack back on, if you already have it on, just take it off, put it back on. It'll reload the textures so you can like update it whenever you save an item into the pack, and then there you go. Okay, I clearly accidentally saved mine with the palette still floating next to it. Rookie move. You're gonna want to not do that. I did it for both. But here's how you can just get a good look at it, see if there's anything you want to change when you can get a closer look. This is like a good way to show why I always do the outline very dark, is it kind of pops out a lot more at you. And then yeah, you've made your own swords and you have made your own pickaxe, just like that. And now you can make all the tools you want and all of the swords you want and damn near almost everything you want. So I hope this video is very helpful to anyone just starting out, trying to get into making packs or anything like that. If you have any suggestions for any like questions you have or anything you want to see in like another video, I can make multiple parts for like anything you're confused about, I can do that all. So just let me know and I will see you guys in my next video. Goodbye!